Okay guys, so for this week's flow, for our faster standing flow, we're gonna actually start standing for this one. So we are gonna take a second here, as always, to check in with our breath. We're gonna be a little bit wiggly about it, which is good. Actually, yep. So we're gonna go ahead and wiggle it out. Take any movements that we need. You can go ahead and inhale, reach up. Nice big stretch, open out to the side. Relax. Again, wiggle it out. Take a second here, you roll out your neck. You're gonna start coming into your posture, start being mindful and aware of your breath. Notice how we are standing. Notice if we're just posting on our joints. Try to root down through the feet and kind of pull and lift up, engaging your lower abdominals, drawing your shoulders back, nice little buoyancy and bend in the knees. Take a second here, settle in. Again, if you're doing this in conjunction with this week's seated flow, this is going to flow right into it. We're going to continue working on the hips, helping us do better with being able to be seated for these yoga postures. So wherever we are, we're going to go ahead, inhale, sweep the arms up, nice little baby bend to the knees, nice little back bend, reach up, drawing the tailbone down, reach, 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 open up wide, cactus arms. Good, breathe here, inhale back up, reach, extend, extend, exhale, hands through your heart. Good, we're going to start coming into some motion in the hips. So we're going to go ahead and heel toe our feet wide. And again, take a second here, check in with our breath. We're just going to shift our hips side to side. So just from the front, it's just going back and forth. You guys have probably seen me do this before. If you want to floss with it, you can. So I'm not the best at flossing. I just really there we go. So this is still yoga, just so you guys know. It's still motion. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just movement. It's just fun. You can have some buoyancy in the knees and start going side to side. We're gonna start making big circles with our hips, swinging it around. So again, we're going back to SpongeBob here. We're bringing it around town. Good, so we're really hinging at the hips, folding as we come around. And like imagine like you're trying to surf or like balance, and it's absolutely fine to take any weird wiggles. Like the weirder that you look, the better it probably is. So just feel free to find any motion or movements, make any faces, any kind of gestures you want. You can, if you want, throw on music, dance, do whatever you want to do here. Just a little bit more wiggling. Again, maybe making these big circles again, swimming it around. And again, these videos this week are really for people who can't practice seated. You know, sometimes we take for granted how easy some of us have it to be able to sit and do all these seated yoga poses so easily. So this is also a practice in mindfulness and gratitude and being thankful for what our bodies can do. So take any extra more circles that you'd like, any extra circles or any more that you would like. Maybe bend the knees and just go side to side again. So like side lunges, but not so much. We're not going like into a full-on lunge here, but we're just gonna go extend one leg, straighten the other. Good, side to side. And as we extend one leg and straighten the other, I want you to feel it in your hip flexor. Good. Try to engage the core here, draw the tailbone down. Try not to just be dumping into your spine. We're still lifting, lengthening the chest. Good, breathe here, inhale, arms up. We're gonna go into our goddess squat. So nice big wide squat, hands out to our sides, cactus arms. Good, breathe here. Take a second, and now this is activating the quads here, and now we're gonna shift side to side again. This one's, again, this is our faster flow. It's a little bit more challenging. Not gonna be too crazy though. So again, side to side. You can go ahead and reach your arms up if you want. Start doing side body stretches. Again, take any movements that you need here. It's similar to before, but now we're just engaging, activating those quad muscles. Good, breathe here. Go ahead and inhale, arms up. Straighten both legs, toes face forward. Nice, reach, 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 lift, open up nice and wide. We're gonna go ahead and try to hinge at the hips, bring our right hand towards our left foot. Breathe here. Inhale, left arm up. Bending at the knees. Inhale, back up. Left hand to right foot, bending at the knees, hinging forward, twisting. Good, breathing wherever you are, reaching. Inhale, both arms back up. Inhale, both up high, hands together. Exhale through to your heart. We're gonna go ahead again, take a little bit of buoyancy in the knees, and we're gonna try to go into our deeper Malasana squat. Take this slow, go with your body. Notice how you feel, and we're gonna try to come down. Okay, so if this is as far as you can go, that's okay. But if you can, We'll try to go down a little bit deeper, elbows inside the knees, open up here. And again, if you just did the whole warm-up 30-minute seated flow, this is gonna be much more accessible for you. If this is the first part of your day, take it slow and maybe even just do like pulsing squats to get you a little bit more warmed up. So if you're in your squat, take a breath here. Go ahead and inhale, come all the way up. We're just gonna come back to hips back and forth. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn. So we're gonna take a second here with our hips going back and forth. We're gonna go ahead and come back to center and feet come back to touch. We're gonna ground down through our left foot, have some buoyancy in our left knee. So we're never just popping into this left hip. We're using these gluteus medius muscles to help lift us, right? So we're bringing our weight into our left foot, nice, slow lifting our right heel. Breathing here. So engaging the core to lift us, engaging that gluteus medius. We're engaging the right psoas muscle to flex at the hip, bending the right knee, flexing the right foot. We're gonna swing out our leg open to the side like we do whilst seated. We're gonna go ahead and open out to the side and touch behind us. Then pull it on through. Inhale up, open out to the side, touch behind us. Good, pull it on through. So this is going through 3 really important parts of hip mobility as we come here. So we're flexing at the hip, coming here. We're externally rotating and abducting, and then we are extending. Drop it down, pull on through. Good. 2 more. Inhale, bend at the knee, flex the foot. Exhale, open. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull it through. 1 more. Inhale up, bending at the knee, open at the hip. Exhale. Good. Breathe, extend, inhale, drop down, pull it through. Take a second, wiggle it out. This motion is really good for both functional mobility and yoga because it also is helping to strengthen the psoas, strengthen these abductor muscles, and strengthen the glutes while stretching the hip flexor. So now we're gonna go into the opposite side. So now we're gonna go ahead and wiggle it out once more if we need to. We're gonna ground down through that right foot. Again, putting our weight into our right foot, but always taking the time to make sure we're not just dumping in. We're gonna nice and slow, lift and lengthen, almost like our left heel hovers first, and then we peel it up, bend the knee. So left knee is bent, left foot is flexed, opening up the left hip out to the side, extending behind us, touch down, pull through. And again, making sure we're not hyperextending this right knee. So inhaling up, exhale, open, inhale, extend, exhale, pull through. Inhale up, exhale, open, inhale, extend, exhale, pull through. 2 more. Inhale up, exhale, open, inhale, extend, exhale, pull through. Inhale up, exhale, open, inhale, extend, exhale, pull through. Good. Take a second here. We're going to keep our feet together, knees bent. We're going to scoop into a quick Utkatasana chair pose to again strengthen these hip flexors and these quads. So I'm going to bend the knees deep, sweep the arms up, inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Tuck our tailbone down, try not to dump into the low spine. Good. Breathe here, wiggle the fingers and wiggle your hips. Wiggle your hips side to side. You're going to be feeling it in these outer, yeah. So again, this may not be like yoga, but it still is. So it's just shifting our weight back and forth to our knees, pulling one hip back and the other, feeling it getting into the side of the hips here. These are working our external rotators once again. Good. Stretching out that gluteus medius while strengthening the quads. Good, and this may look funny, but it's fun and it's still movement. So this is just so you guys can see I'm pulling my left hip and left knee back, switching sides, but the whole time I'm still keeping buoyancy in my knees. Quads are active the whole time. Good. Breathe here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit more wiggles, and that is the scientific term, wiggles. I'm gonna go ahead and inhale, lift, lengthen, bend the knees nice and deep, belly to your thighs. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Good, breathe here. Shake your head yes and no. Release all this tension in your neck. Let your head fall forward. Bending the knees nice and deep. Inhale, halfway lift. We're gonna go ahead and heel toe our feet as wide as our mat. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Again, bending at the knee. Good, breathe wherever you are. This is helping us to get into those hamstrings. Bending the knee helps us get into the calf muscles as well. Good, breathe. Let your head be heavy. Again, maybe shake your head side to side, whatever feels best for you. We're gonna nice and slow, engaging our core, engaging our glutes and our hamstrings and our quads. We're gonna lift up. We're never just throwing ourselves up. We're always being mindful in our movements. So we're gonna bend the knees deep, go into like a little squat, and then push up. So we're actively pushing off. Like imagine like we're gonna blast off. We're gonna come back to the top of our mat. Take a second here to check in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Nice little stretch. Open up arms wide. We gotta get some shoulders in there at some point, right? So open up the shoulders wide. Take a second here, wiggle it out. Right arm comes up, left arm comes down. Good, reaching both in opposite directions. Good, opposite way. Right arm comes down, left arm comes up. Reaching both in opposite directions. Good, both out to the side. Inhale up. Exhale through your heart. So we're gonna take a second here. And instead of going through our normal flow, because again, we're trying to avoid being too much down on our mat for people that have trouble with being in tabletop or being seated. So we're just gonna go ahead and bring our weight into our right foot. Sorry, we'll bring our weight into our left foot again, because that's where we started last time. So bring your weight into our left foot. We're gonna go ahead and bring this right knee up again. We're just gonna step it back. Good, so this time we're just stepping back into our high lunge, and then we're gonna go ahead and open up into our warrior legs. So our right foot is turned 45 degrees, pointing inwards. Bring my weight into the outer edge of that right foot. My left foot is squared forward, knee over ankle. Good, so these are our warrior legs here. And we're gonna go ahead and settle in. Take a second here, and we're gonna come into our extended side angle, which is a really good hip opener. We're gonna have two variations depending on how far you'd like to go. So with our extended side angle, our hips are squared towards the wall. We're gonna go ahead and inhale our right arm up. Our left arm is either gonna come down to the inside of our left foot or right onto our left thigh. So I'm not sure if you guys can see. Left arm, left thigh, right arm up. Or if you want to get a little bit deeper, left hand to the inside of the left foot, or even on the outside, depending on what variation of yoga you practice. There's so many different variations, but take whatever feels best for you in this extended side angle. So breathing here, really getting deep into that hip. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice and slow, we're gonna cartwheel that right hand down, bring it to the inside of the left foot. Right heel comes up, toes point down. Nice little twist, inhale, left arm up. Good, breathe here. Good, so we should be feeling this in the outer external rotators of that left hip. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Good, nice and slow. We're gonna go ahead and take our left hand, frame our left foot, sink deep into that left knee, maybe walk our toes forward, drop the right knee. It's a nice little Anjaneyasana crescent lunge for just a moment, just a breath. Sinking in here, coming into these right hip flexors. This is, again, number one of the top hip opening poses ever. Just breathe here. And we're gonna take a fun little variation on this as well. So we're gonna keep our feet, our knees where they are. So we're gonna keep our right knee where we are. We're just gonna turn our right foot in, turn our left foot out. And then we're just gonna thrust forward. You'll feel like it really nice and deep into those hips. Good, breathe. So our right knee is turning in, left foot's coming out. Being mindful of our knee. Good, breathe here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And we won't be here for too long. One more nice deep breath. Come back to center, left toes forward, right foot back. Bring both hands inside, tuck the right toes, and we're just gonna go ahead and step ourselves up. We have a couple options here. We can come to a Malasana, or we can just come to a forward fold, whatever feels best for you in your practice today. So if you want, you can just step right foot up, come into a fold, or if you'd like to take a quick Malasana, our yoga squat, feel free to do so. We're gonna inhale, halfway lift in our forward fold. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend your knees. Relax the head down. Shake the head yes and no. Nice and slow, we're gonna zombie roll up. So we're gonna roll up one vertebrae at a time, letting our arms hang forward. So breathing in and out through the nose here, just rolling up super slow like a zombie. Like you're just coming to life. Like this coronavirus is like 28 days later, the movie. Good, take a second here, wiggle it out. We're gonna get into the other side. So go ahead, inhale, sweep the arms up. Nice big stretch. Cactus arms, open up the shoulders, pull them back. Good, wiggle the fingers here. Good, inhale, release. Sorry, inhale, lengthen, not release. Inhale, lengthen. We're gonna exhale, open up wide, interlace our hands behind our back just for a nice little quick shoulder stretch. Bend our knees deep before we go into this. So get a nice little bounce in our knees. Draw our knuckles down, lift the chest. Breathe here, engage the lower abdominals to pull that tailbone down. Good, inhale up. Exhale, hands through heart. Now we go to the other side. So this time, we're gonna go ahead and find our center, bring our weight into our right foot, and again, we're lifting without dumping. So we're lifting, lengthening, bringing this left knee up, stepping it right back, turning our foot. Right foot stays pointed forward, nice deep bend in the right knee. The outer edge of the left foot is pressing down. Hips are squared. So our hips aren't squared forward, they're squared to the side. Sinking nice and deep. Again, we're gonna go into any variation that we choose of our extended side angle, making sure that our knee is not behind the ankle here. So inhale that left arm up and either bring the right hand, right forearm to the right thigh or to the inside of the right foot. So you can also come to the outer edge. Again, whatever feels best for you, gets you where you need to be. Some days you just wanna hang out here on the leg, pushing that hip open, but making sure we're not overextending here. We're being mindful of our knee. We're not letting it turn in or out too much. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Again, take your time. You can breathe in and out through the nose. Good. Breathe. Sink in a little bit deeper. We're about to come into our twist. We're gonna go ahead and rotate, cartwheel that left hand down to the inside of the right foot. Right foot stays where it is, left heel lifts. Inhale, right arm up to the sky, and making sure that we're pulling in and squaring this right hip back so we can get into the external rotators of that right hip. And we're also making sure we're not just dumping into our shoulder, we're actively lifting, using our obliques to help us here. Good, breathe in and out through the nose, wiggle your fingers. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice and slow, we can go ahead and drop that left knee, untuck the toes if we want, come into our little crescent lunge. Good, so again, we're getting into the right outer hip and the left hip flexor. So breathe here, let yourself sink in. Find what feels best for you. We're not gonna stay here too long, but we're gonna go ahead into a variation. So whenever we're ready, maybe kind of sink a little bit deeper real quick. We're gonna go ahead and lift up just a bit. Turn our left foot inward, so my left leg is straight, turning it in. Right toes are turning out, lunging forward. And this gets really deep into the hips. Like, this is a little bit intense, so if this is too much, stick with our regular Anjaneyasana. Just breathe wherever you are. Be mindful of your knees. Good, breathe here. In and out through the nose. Good, take your time, take your time. 2 more nice deep breaths here. Nice and slow. Bringing our right foot center, left foot shoots straight back. We're gonna go ahead and bring both hands to the inside, and same as before, we have a couple options here. If we want, we can just step right into our forward fold, or we can try to step up into a quick malasana and then fold. So whatever feels best for you, we're gonna come to a wide-legged forward fold once again, and we're just gonna bend our knees and shift our hips back and forth. So this time we're gonna get a little bit wider, so if you can, come off your mat, bring your feet wider than your mat and just go side to side. So this is like almost our Skandasana, which we are going to do next. This is like a mini Skandasana. So we're a little bit wider than our mat and we're just bending, lengthening. So we're bending one knee while we straighten the other leg. We're getting into the hamstrings of the extended leg. Good, breathe here. We can have our hands on the ground or on a block if we can't touch the ground. Just breathe wherever you are. So we're all at the top of our mats here, a little bit wider than our mats. Go ahead and inhale, halfway lift, come back to center. Heel to the feet all the way in. Bend the knees nice and deep, bring our belly to our thighs. Relax the head down, shake your head out, yes and no. Take a few moments here to breathe in this forward fold. Good, breathe. This is our Uttanasana. Nice and slow, begin to lift. So rolling up like a zombie if you want, or if you want, you can inhale all the way up. Ooh. Breathe here, nice little bend. Wiggle your hips side to side again. Bring our dance moves from the beginning back. So we're shifting our hips side to side again. Just back and forth. We're really pulling that left hip back and then pulling the right hip back. Just take your time here. You can have your arms out, you can have them up. Put your hands on your hips to help you here. We're just gonna start widening our feet again. So if you want, you can kind of dance with it. And we're just going back and forth. And if you're at the front of your mat, and you wanna go ahead and step center with me, we can do so now. So step center to your mat and just pull the hips back and forth. And we're just gonna gradually keep getting wider. So maybe it looks like some weird kind of TikTok dance or something, I don't know. Okay, eventually we're gonna start coming into our Skandasana here. So if you are still at the front of your mat, we're just gonna take a nice big wide step back. If you're here already, stay here. So we're gonna start getting lower and working our way into our Skandasana, but we're gonna take it easy depending on where we're at. If we are super flexible and we know where we're going, go for it. If you're like, we'll see where we are, we're gonna go nice and slow. We're gonna bend the right knee, come forward into that right knee, but we're dropping our hips back. So we're not pushing in, we're not lifting the heel, we're coming back, coming up and back. And eventually, you're gonna be able to put both feet forward, come all the way down. But this is what we're working towards. If you can come down here and use your hands to kind of like lizard crawl back and forth, that's great too. Once you get lower, the knee does start going past the ankle a bit, but we just want to be mindful with that initial motion of sitting down and putting that weight into our knee. Good, so if we can, Skandasana back and forth. If you're advanced and you're super comfortable in your Skandasana, you can come all the way in, add a shoulder opener, come around to the other side, add the shoulder opener. Take your time, again, do what feels best for you. Just go back and forth. Get this lizard-like mobility going on here. Good. And speaking of lizard, you may be able to guess where we're going next. So just do a couple more Skandasanas side to side. And we're just gonna nice and slow bring both of our hands towards our left foot. We're gonna start turning into our lizard. So left foot's on the outer edge, both hands to the inside of the left foot. Right knee drops, we sink into our lizard on the left hand side. Good, so you breathe here. And it's okay if you're facing the back of your mat. You don't always have to face forward. That's one of my pet peeves in yoga. You can face wherever you want. So just breathe wherever you are. Sink into your lizard, maybe come onto the outer edge of the left foot. Breathe here. If you want, you can come down to your forearms. Or if you'd like to take the twisted variation, it is always there. Bring your weight into your right hand, making sure that we're not posting on the shoulder, lifting, lengthening, left arm inhales up and back, grabs the left foot, right foot, sorry. Breathe. Take your time. Wherever you are, we're gonna start transitioning through Skandasana. So turning forward, so we're gonna come back. So this left knee bent, right leg extended straight, walk it over to the other side. Good, so see how this Skandasana movement gives us a little bit of that like animal mobility that we want going on. So we're coming into our lizard on the right side, right foot open out to the outside of the mat, both hands in the center. Again, being mindful of locking in your joints. I'm hypermobile, so that's probably a lot of why I'm always saying this. And sometimes it looks like I'm posting. So my joints do go in, and it's very easy for me to hurt myself by putting all my weight on my joints. So I have to be mindful and make sure that I'm using my muscles and not just posting. Our left knee is down. We can come onto the outer edge of the right foot. Breathe here, sink into our lizard, take whatever variation feels best for you. Again, you can drop the hip, open up the right foot, come to your forearms, or reach around for that twisted lizard that we all love. Just breathing wherever you are. Taking whatever variation. And it's okay if you can't reach your twisted lizard yet. That means your quads are a bit tight and you will get there one day. Go ahead and inhale up, come back to center. We're gonna come through our Skandasana, and we're just gonna come and make our way to a wide-legged forward fold as best we can. So it may be a little bit fumbly to get there, but we're gonna come back up. We're gonna bend our knees deep, lift up into this goddess squat once again. We're gonna go ahead and open up our knees wide. So our goddess squat, we're here. We're gonna try to bring our feet all the way out and sit. Good, breathe here. This is stretching out the adductors. This is getting into our leg mobility here. Breathe here. Try not to let your spine go all concave. Inhale, lift, lengthen, draw the shoulders down. Good, find that power through your pelvis. It's like the weirdest sentence I may have ever said. Drawing the tailbone down. You're gonna burn a little bit here in the quads, it's okay. This is an eccentric contraction. So the muscle is engaging while stretching. Good, breathe. We're gonna go ahead and use all the power in our glutes and our quads to push us up. Bring our feet facing forward and hips side to side again. And again, if you're still feeling animated, you can bring your flossing back. Do any extra dance moves you want. We're gonna start winding down. From here, if you're still flossing, you can do so. I like to do this quite often, swinging side to side. And again, I feel like a broken record, but not everything has to be a specific yoga pose. It's all about movement. It's all about being in tune with your body. So don't worry if you don't know the Sanskrit for flossing. Just take a second. You can start incorporating more movements here. And wiggle it out. You can go side to side, bending the knees. Good. Again, we're wiggling, shifting side to side. We're gonna nice and slow bring our feet a little bit closer together. We're still a little bit wide, but not as wide as before. This gives us a little bit more stability without having to rely on our muscles right now. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open, release. Then we're gonna shake it off. So we're gonna do 3, inhaling up, and exhale, shake it off, okay? So go ahead, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale. Good, inhale up. Bend the knees. Exhale. Good, and literally throw it all off. Inhale up. Exhale. Good. And now we're gonna come onto our tippy toes. So we're gonna bring some full body awareness here. Again, keeping a little buoyancy in our knees. Go ahead, inhale up, lift onto your toes, reach, reach, reach. Exhale through to center, bend your knees, see if you can squat. Good, toe stand. Breathe in and out the nose. And we're gonna try to inhale back up. If you're still on your toes, try to keep up on them. If you have to touch them down, it's okay. We're gonna try to lift back up. See if you can stay on your toes. Exhale, relax. Good. Go ahead and inhale up once more. Exhale, open nice and wide. We're gonna go ahead and bring our feet wide, make this nice big star shape, and we're just gonna do a quick little motion from side to side before we wrap up. So we're gonna go ahead and keep our arms out to the side, and we're just gonna go inhale, left hand down, left thigh, right arm comes up. Good, and we're making sure we're not dumping into our pelvis here, we're just actively still pushing up. Left arm comes up, right arm comes down. Reaching to that side body, we're not rotating, we're keeping lifted. Good, very nice, breathe. Inhale up, over to the left. Good. Inhale up, over to the right. Inhale, both arms up, bend the knees. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Good, last forward fold, so really enjoy it. Take your time here. If you want to come back to the top of your mat, you can. Feet about mats with distance apart. Shake your head yes and no. Maybe grab some opposite elbows. Maybe do some swings from side to side like we did earlier. And just do whatever motions you need before we end. So breathe wherever you are. Again, shake it out. Go side to side. Release the tension in your neck. Let the crown of your head pull down. Maybe bend the knees side to side. This was all very hip focused. And again, if you notice, hip focus also tends to incorporate a lot of low back, hamstrings, and quads, because these are all the muscles that surround and interact with that hip joint. So just feel free to take any extra wiggles. Again, it's a very technical term. So take any movements that you might need. If this is the end of your practice and you are not going to continue on further, if you have any arm balances or inversions that you would like to take, I encourage you to do so safely, always safely. Feel free to play around with headstands, handstands, forearm stands, or maybe come into your crow, whatever you're feeling today. Wherever you are, again, if you'd like to play around with inversions, feel free to pause. And if not, we are just going to lower ourselves down to one last quick malasana before we shavasana. So again, maybe take a second here. Take a quick Supta Baddha Konasana, see how you feel, especially if you've done both videos. You know, after the first video, we did a lot of Supta Baddha Konasana. See if you feel a difference. You should feel a lot more warmed up in this area. Maybe your knees are closer to the ground. Maybe you're just more comfortable in this position without feeling so much of a strain. Maybe come into this diaphragmatic breathing. You can go ahead and take any extra little supine twists or any movements that your body might need. I always need a supine twist. Or my other personal favorite is the leg windshield wipers. Just wherever you are. Beginning to slow the heart rate down. Again, regardless of if you did both videos or this is just one of itself, take your time. Settle yourself in. You begin to extend your legs out straight. Relax your hands to your sides. And begin to come back into your breath. And again, take notice of how your hips feel. See if your hip flexors feel a bit more warmed up and mobile. See if you're just able to relax a little bit more deeply. We're just going to take one quick minute Shavasana together, but I do encourage you to carry on your own for longer. Just go ahead and settle in. Not worrying about trying to control your thoughts, just gently guiding yourself back to the breath when you catch yourself getting distracted. Just taking the next minute for yourself. Wherever you are, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes if you're coming out of your Shavasana, or just keep yourself settled for if you want to continue. If this is the end of your practice and you're about to go about your day, just want to say thank you, as always, for joining me. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this for yourself. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a good day.